Okay. In module 1, vector calculus, we are going to study about vector differentiation and vector integration. Now, connected to vectors, in the previous class, you have already learned some of the concepts. Okay. We will just recall them. Suppose if I have two vectors, maybe like A and B. Okay. A and B are some vectors. Then if I want to define, there is some special product is defined on this. Okay, if A and B are vectors, there is some special product defined on this. Product of the vectors, you can say. So how many kind of vector product you have?
Two
Dot product
products.
and cross product.
Very good. You have two type, dot product and cross product. Now, if I simply write some expression, how can you identify whether it is a vector or a scalar? What quantity will tell you that it is a vector and it is a not a vector? Suppose if I want to write vector A, the representation may be like A1I plus A2J plus A3K, isn't it? You might have taken it as like 2I plus 3K plus 4K, 3I plus 2J plus 3K in that format. So if there is in the quantity, if IJK are present, obviously it is going to be a
Vector.
vector quantity. If
Vector.
IJK are not there, obviously it is a scalar quantity. Okay. Now can anybody tell me what is this IJK representing?
Unit vectors in x, y, and z directions.
Very good. They are the unit vectors in XYZ direction. You might be having, you may be used, you might have used this notation. A1I cap, right? A2J cap, A3K cap. Okay, so this cap, if I write, it is representing the unit vector. It's a notation. So usually whenever I take a unit vector, anything if you want to define, so that vector, if suppose I want to take unit vector of A, means I have to take that vector divided by, anybody remembers? Yeah, very
Magnitude of
good, very good.
Magnitude of it.
That same vector, if you take, this quantity is called as unit vector. So this can be denoted as A cap. Similarly, if you have IJK, these are the unit vectors, as you said, they are in the directions of X, Y, Z. So I have got three coordinates, like here I have the combination like A1, A2, A3. So I have to take it in space, a point in the space, isn't it? So I have to consider the three-dimensional. So this is now, suppose I have it as x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So I is nothing but it's a unit vector in the direction of x-axis, right? Now, it's a unit vector. So what is the magnitude of this?
1.
Obvious, you are calling it as unit vector, so its magnitude is always 1. Now, similarly, J will be in direction of, it's a vector, it is in the direction of y-axis and K is in the direction of z-axis. All are having the magnitude as 1. Okay. Now, suppose we have A and B. Okay, so for B, I'll take it as B1I plus B2J plus B3K. Suppose if I have the vectors like this, I'll not take trouble in writing it as cap, it is understood. And if you don't write it also, okay. But for A and B, when you mention some vector, for that you should take on top as a arrow mark, which is called as A bar and B bar. This you have to take. You cannot say simply A only. It has to be A bar only. Okay. Now, here, suppose we have two vectors. What you said, two types of products are there. One is what? Dot product. So if I want to find the dot product of these vectors, it can be defined, correct? There is a proper definition for that. Anybody remembers how A dot B is given? No. Suppose we have two vectors. One is vector A and this is vector B. Suppose they are intersecting at the angle. The angle between these vectors suppose is theta. Then how is the dot product is defined?
AB cos theta.
Just AB cos theta. Magnitude of vector A, magnitude of vector B into cos theta. Isn't it this definition you learned? You need to remember, otherwise it is difficult. Have you learned the same thing or am I teaching anything different? Is it same? No, you should tell me, yeah,
Yes,
because
ma'am.
I have learned very long years ago. Huh? Once upon a time. Now you people have learned very recently. Yeah. From this, I can write now cos theta value, isn't it? If I want to write cos theta, I have to take these quantities over here. Agree with this? From the same definition, I am writing cos theta. Tell me, what is the expression? Are you tired of attending classes? Hmm? It is A dot B divided by magnitude of vector A into magnitude of vector B, isn't it? Now what is this theta representing? Theta is nothing but angle between the two vectors. If you want to find it, even you can find with the help of dot product. Okay, so this is called as dot product. One more thing is cross product.
Cross.
Yeah. So suppose we have two vectors again, A and B. If theta is the angle between them, if I want to take the cross product of these two, it is denoted as A cross B and it is given by, yeah, anybody?
Sin theta. Sin theta.
Only sin theta?
Magnitude of
A bar B bar into sin theta.
No, magnitude of A bar,
Magnitude of A
magnitude
bar.
of B
Magnitude
bar
of B bar.
into sin
Sin
theta. Anything else?
N cap.
Into n cap, or you can say eta cap. Okay, so what is this eta cap? It is some unit vector which is perpendicular to that surface. Not to worry about it much. So this is the cross product. Even, so again theta is nothing but the angle between them, isn't it? So if I want to find what is sin theta, how can I do it?
Magnitude of A bar cross B bar.
Very good. On. Complete it. Half knowledge is good for nothing. Complete. Divided by magnitude of
Magnitude of
A
A bar.
and magnitude of B bar. Yes. So what is the thing here? If I write sin theta, it contains a n cap. I don't want this n cap, means I'll just take a modulus for the whole thing. So if I take the modulus, this becomes modulus and modulus of n cap. It is a unit vector. So what is the magnitude? Obviously 1. It will disappear. So that you can easily find sin theta. So here you can find the angle between the two vectors, maybe cos of the quantity or sine of the quantity. So this is about main important dot and cross product. Now coming back to this dot product again. Suppose if I have two vectors which are defined like this. Okay, I don't want to go to the, I don't know what is the angle between them and all that, but I know the representation in terms of ijk. How can I take A dot B?
Determinant.
Determinant.
A1 B1.
Yeah, you should just multiply the corresponding
A2 B2
I
plus
coefficients, A1, B1, J coefficients and K coefficients, isn't it? Just multiply them, A3, B3 and just add them. This will give you the dot product very simple way. So how to take, this is very important. I'm going to use it again. This concept is learned, right? A1, B1 plus A2, B2 plus A3, B3. You recalled it properly now? So what happens? I dot I. What happens to I dot I?
0.
So
If it was 0, A1, B1 was 0. right?
One, madam.
It is
One,
actually
one.
one. Yeah, don't leave those basic concepts. I dot I, J
No.
dot J, K dot K, all are one only. So this is what is I am going to use, main important. Similarly, if I have the two vectors A and B given in terms of ijk like this, even I can take A cross B. How can I define it?
Determinant.
Yeah, it is
Determinant of
given in terms of a determinant.
Ij.
Yeah, the elements for the determinant are, see, it has to be taken in a proper way. I, J, K. So whenever you take a cross product, first row is fixed as IJK. Second row, you should write the IJK coefficients of the first vector for which you
A1,
are applying cross. Yeah,
A1,
yeah. Coefficient of I
A1,
for A is A1, J is A2, and K is A3. So this second row is meant for IJK coefficients of first vector. Similarly, this third row is meant for IJK coefficients of second vector. Okay. Yeah, this is true for any cross product or any dot product. Okay. So this is what I have to write here. B1, B2, B3. Do you know how to expand it? I want to find the value of this determinant. Suppose, then what I have to do first?
I into
I into J A3 minus
I into J.
I into A2 B3. A2 B3.
A2
No,
B3
I am
minus
asking
B3.
you before expanding a determinant, which is the step to be applied? Just randomly, can I start? Okay, I into A through B3 and all? No, no. I have to assign one thing, right? What is that?
Plus and minus sign.
Yes, very good. We need to assign the positive and alternate positive and negative sign first. So I can expand it by, is it expanded by only first row, first column only, or any row, any column?
Any row.
Any row, any column will do. But here we prefer, okay, by taking for the first row. Okay, first we have to assign, then you know the procedure. I lies in the first row, first column. Let's take the determinant of these four elements. Okay, hope this part is you know about it. Okay, so this is how we have to take. So here you can apply the dot and cross product for any two vectors. Remember this one. Okay, yeah. After these results, now I'll define the quantity. So we have here scalar point function and vector point function. Okay, this is the previous class knowledge what is required. Now time being, okay. So here, suppose we have a function in the form phi of xyz. So this is called as a scalar point function. I'll not give more stress on this because we are doing here a vector, we are finding the vector calculus. So only very simple way how to identify is, if you have a function of xyz not at all containing ijk, consider it as a scalar function. How you used to take is just like some constant quantity. Here xyz are the variables. Okay. Now coming to the part, suppose if I have, okay, I have a point P whose coordinates are like xyz. Then I can define the position vector of P. I can define position vector of P. So for this, what I'm going to do, so P coordinates are xyz. Can you tell me where this point will be? Is it I have to take it on the simple plane, or I have to take on the coordinate plane, or where I have to take?
In the space.
In the space. Very good, because it is a three-dimensional. So suppose there is a point. There is a point P here in the space. No doubt I'm drawing on the board, but think it is in the space. Now what you do, just take one fixed point and call it as O. Okay, it's acting like a origin. Okay, for three-dimensional. So the coordinates are 0, 0, 0. Join this. Okay, join it O and P. So that here we have OP. So position vector of P is nothing but OP. So I'm saying it is a vector. So what should be present? should be present then? If I'm writing it as a vector, there should be
I, J.
I, J, K. So suppose the coordinates are like this. For the position vector of P, that is OP, I can write it as Xi plus Yj plus Zk. Or even this is denoted as some vector R bar. So R bar is Xi plus Yj plus Zk. Now, here vector means, as you said, it has got both magnitude and direction. Can you tell me what is the magnitude of this R then? Or magnitude of OP?
Square root of x square plus y.
Very good. Root of x square plus y square plus z square. So what we have to do? Take ijk coefficients, square them, add them, and keep it under the root. It gives you the magnitude, right? So it has got magnitude. And can you tell me what is the direction?
From O to P.
It is from O to P. It is from O to P. Okay, done. Now here, what we have taken x, y, z, we just treat them as all to be a function of some variable t. Okay, so usually we just take this t as some time. Okay, you can refer it like a time. It's a variable, so that you can say r is a function of t. X is a function of t, y is a function of t, and z is a function of t. So can you tell me r will be now function of what? R bar is in terms of xi plus yj plus zk, no doubt. Now x, y, z are functions of t. So r will be ultimately a function of
T.
t only,
T.
right? Yeah, this is r of t. We can even represent like this. Now, there is some simple knowledge. This was in the earlier syllabus. So I'll just take, if suppose this r, if you differentiate with respect to t, which is where t I am referring it as time, I'll get one quantity. Can anybody tell me what it is? You can guess, no worries if it is wrong. Yeah, it is just like R is like, I just take it as like some displacement. Okay. So what is the rate of change of displacement with respect to time? Yes?
Acceleration.
Velocity.
Velocity.
Velocity. Velocity. So when you find the first order derivative of this R with respect to t, you will get a velocity. Okay. Similarly, if I again differentiate this R with respect to t, can you tell me what we are going to get?
Acceleration.
Very good.
Acceleration.
It is a
Acceleration.
acceleration. Yes. Am I right? Acceleration. Is the spelling right? L-A. Okay. L-E it is. Acceleration. Right. Now these were the quantities earlier. There were like some concepts were related to velocity, acceleration, component and all we used to find. But now they have made the syllabus very easy. Okay. By giving us only very little concept is remaining in vector differentiation. Okay. Yes. Now already as we are aware of dot and cross product, okay, I will just define some of the things. So here I'll not give the name and all early first only. Okay, just try to understand. So as I said, no, first half of the module is on which concept?
Vector difference.
Differentiation.
Very good. So many students remember this. Okay, like that, if you remember mathematics, no, at least till you complete your examination, that will be a good thing because due to Corona, we don't know when the exams will be conducted. All right. Yeah. So just don't learn simply, just understand it so that you will remember it for longer time. Okay. So vector differentiation. So I will take the differential operator as del. I'll just denote it as like a ulta triangle. Okay, this is nothing but to call it as, just to name it as, this notation is like a del. Because you know for differentiation d is used, right? D by dx or dou is used. Sometimes delta is used. like that. So here we'll use the differential operator for vectors as del. This is a vector quantity. Okay. Now here this is given by dou by dou xi, dou by dou yj plus dou by dou zk. I told you in the beginning that don't write simply a. If it is a vector, write it as a bar. But for this del, don't take trouble in writing it as a arrow mark on top. Please don't ask me that. Why? Because we have to refer the standard notation. Okay. Is it okay? Is it a vector quantity? First thing. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
And what are dou by dou x, dou by, what are these? These are differential operators. So why we have to take dou, why not d? Can anybody justify this? See, I would have taken it as d by dx, d by dy, d by dz. Not taken. Why?
Three variable.
Yeah, here R, if you take in broader sense, it is a function of not only one variable, it contains three variables x, y, z. No doubt, in turn, it is a function of one variable, but altogether R is, you can say, a function of more than one variable. So instead of D, we have to take dou. Done. Okay. Now I'll take this del and we'll just operate it on some scalar function, some vector function. And again, for vector function, if I apply, I have got two type of products. What they are? Dot and cross product. So we'll apply, we'll find it, we'll get some quantities. So those are being defined as some terms over here. That is all the first part. It's very simple. So is the notation for del or the expression for del is clear to you? This is fixed throughout this topic. Now, here what I'll do, I'll first take phi. Phi, I'll take it as a scalar quantity. So it's a scalar quantity means there won't be ijk. So how can I take? It will be like phi means it cannot be simply anything constant number. It will be a function of x, y, z. For example, it may be like x square y plus y square z plus z square x. Maybe like this. It may be my phi. Tell me, is it a vector or a scalar now? Obviously,
Scalar.
scalar quantity. There are no ijk. Okay. So I'll take this scalar quantity phi in general like this. Then I will operate del on this. Okay, this del what we have taken, I'll just operate it. Just think if del is this part and I'm taking a phi on this. So I have to take this phi inside the bracket, isn't it? So this is like dou by dou xi, dou by dou yj, and dou by dou zk. This is what we have it as del to be operating on phi. So this phi, I have to simplify this expression. I have to take this phi inside. Now, can I take phi only for one step, one term I have to take, or is it for all the terms?
For all the terms.
All the terms. Very good. Again, if I take, for example, for this each of the term where I'm just dealing with the third term, suppose. Can I take inside k? Means, can I keep my k out and just take phi here, this place? Yes, we can, because it is a constant quantity, isn't it? Now, can I take my phi outside this dou by dou z simply? Means my question is, I have like this, dou by dou z, k is there, I'm taking a phi inside. So I can take phi here, correct? Can I take my phi simply here? Can I write it as phi dou by dou z k, or I have to write it as dou phi by dou z k only? Is it first form or the second form? See, I'm asking you some thing very simple. Yeah,
First form.
first form.
First form.
All of you agree first form?
हाँ मैम.
All supports first form. Anybody who is supporting second form? If you are not answering that, I'll take that you all are supporting first form. Is it so? The whole class is going to be wrong then. Tell me why.
Because
If
Q
you are-
is constant.
Huh? K is constant, no problem. But how is phi? Is phi a constant quantity? Isn't it? It's a function. Phi is a function. And how is dou by dou z? What is dou by dou z means what? Isn't it? It's a differential operator.
Okay.
Yes or no? That means what is the meaning if I write now dou by dou z of, if I write x square y z, suppose like this, or is it same as if I write x square y dou by dou z? Are they both same?
No.
Obviously
ma'am.
no. That means phi is a function of x y z means I cannot take simply outside. I should write it like this format. Agree? So be careful. Why it is used and all, you should have that knowledge. Then the definitions will be more clear. So if I take phi inside, can anybody tell now what I'll get?
Dou by dou x.
Dou phi by dou xi
X, I.
dou phi by dou yj plus dou phi by dou z k.
Okay.
Is the part clear? Yeah. This quantity, what you apply del on a scalar function, this will give me some quantity. Tell me, is it vector or a scalar?
Vector.
No, ma'am.
Vector quantity, right?
Vector.
And this is being named as gradient of phi. This is named as gradient of phi, or it is just denoted as grad phi, or it is even denoted as del phi. Clear? This is the first definition. So what we did, we have taken a differential operator del and we applied it on which quantity? A scalar quantity. And we are getting some vector which is being called as gradient of phi. Is the first definition clear?
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes,
Very
ma'am.
good. Now we have taken a scalar quantity. Now let us take a vector quantity. I'll take one vector as a bar. A bar, where I take it as a1i plus a2j plus a3k. Only thing, usually we take a1, a2, a3 as constants, but here main important, a1, a2, a3 all are functions of x, y, z. They are the functions of x, y, z. Clear? Means they are not constants, they contain some x, y, z terms. Okay, now I'll take this del and I'll operate it on a. Now here I cannot write directly like this because I'm finding a product. Tell me, del is a vector or a scalar?
Vector.
Vector. And a bar is again a vector.
Vector.
So when you find the product of two things, either you have to find which product?
Dot or
Dot
Dot
or
or cross.
Dot or
So let
cross.
me take the product as
Cross
dot
product.
product, suppose. So what is del? Del is dou by dou xi, dou by dou yj, dou by dou zk. Dot product with a. What is my a? a1i plus a2j plus a3k. Done. Now we have seen when it is a dot product. Okay, how to take it? We should multiply the corresponding I coefficients, isn't it? What is the coefficient of I here? Dou by dou x.
Dou by dou x.
What is the coefficient of I here? Second vector.
E1.
So how you have written no a1 b1 plus a2 b2? Similar concept. Tell me what is the dot product of this? Fast. Fast.
Dou A1 by
Dou
dou X.
a1 by dou x
Dou
plus
A1 by dou A2 by dou Y.
dou y
Plus dou
plus
A3 by
only thing, don't think
dou
that it is
A4
going to be 0 because a1, a2, a3 are functions of x, y, z means obviously something is going to obtain. Some answer will be there. It's not 0. Okay. Now, when you have operated a dot product, tell me what you are getting. Scalar or a vector?
Scalar.
Scalar.
Scalar
What?
quantity.
Very good. So what you have obtained here, this is called as divergence of A. This is called as divergence of A. or it is just even denoted like this, diva, or del dot a. Got it? It is second definition. Now after this, what can we do? What can we again find out? Anybody
cross
can guess?
product.
Very good.
Cross product.
Cross
ma'am.
product of del and vector A, isn't it? Yeah.
And
Yeah.
vector.
Yeah. What are the elements? How to take a cross product? We are aware. We have to take ijk. Correct. So this is I, J, K. So I should write the ijk coefficients of del now. Am I right? These are the ijk coefficients. What I have to write here? You should answer dou by dou x, dou by dou y, dou by dou z. What I have to write the last row as?
A1, A2, A3.
A1,
A1,
A2, A3. Yeah. So this will give me some quantity. You know how to do it and all. Plus, minus, plus. You will get some quantity. And this will be a vector or a scalar.
Vector quantity.
It's
Vector,
going
ma'am.
to be a
Vector
vector
quantity,
quantity.
ma'am.
Very good. So this vector quantity obtained by taking the cross product of del and A, this is being named as curl of A. Curl of A. And even you can simply write it like this. Curl A. This will do. So curl means it is a cross product. See, confusions are very, very less. Very, very less. Divergence. What is the first letter? In divergence, what is the first letter?
D, ma'am.
D.
D, ma'am.
Dot product, what is the first letter?
D.
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 D only.
D.
So isn't it matching over there? Isn't it same thing is happening here? Can anybody justify?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what it is? Curl means C and cross is also C.
Cross means C.
So no confusions. No confusions with words. So if they ask you find the divergence, do remember it is a dot product. Where first vector is fixed as del, second vector will change according to the question given. Okay? Yeah. Am I clear with these three things?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, do remember. And you will come to know why only these terms are being defined, because we have a cross and dot product. We have to deal with a differentiation. So we are taking a differential operator del and we are applying on a scalar and a vector quantity. Okay. Now my question is, why, how we have taken here del dot A, del cross A, why we have not taken here del dot phi and del cross A phi? Try to get my question. Why I have taken
Because
only
it
del
is
phi?
scalar.
Very good. If both the things are vectors, there is a question of dot and cross. If one of them is scalar, no question of dot and cross, just a simple product. Okay, good answer. After this, we'll define one more thing. For that, suppose I want to find del square. So I'll take it in the form del dot del. I'll take it in the form del dot del. I want to obtain it. Like a square, if I want to find, I take a dot a. Like that. Okay. Now what is del? Del is what? Dou by dou xi, dou by dou yj, dou by dou zk. Dot product with again same vector. Dou by dou xi, dou by dou yj, and dou by dou zk. Okay. Yeah. Now how can we find the dot product? How we have to do it? Dou by dou x into dou by dou x will be what? Very interesting question. Dou by dou x into dou by dou x is what? Is it dou square by dou x square, or dou by dou x the whole square, or is it going to be something else? See, it's very simple thing. It is just like dou by dou x operating on dou by dou x. It's not like a product how you take. This you would have written it as a square if this was a constant quantity. No doubt it's a variable, but it is Okay, it's a differential operator. So it's like differential operator operating on one more differential operator. Like derivative of derivative is what?
Double derivative.
Double derivative, or you can say second order derivative. I can tell you like derivative of first order derivative is second order derivative, isn't it? So this theory is applicable over here. We should not have to write dou by dou x the whole square. Okay, so what it is? Dou square by dou x square plus dou square by dou y square plus dou square by dou z square. Now, how was our del? Vector or a scalar?
Vector.
Scalar.
It was a vector, but del square is what now?
Scalar.
It's a
Scalar.
scalar quantity. Now, this is a scalar. I can operate it on a scalar or I can operate it on a vector. No problems. Okay. Suppose if I take this del square and operate it on a scalar phi. Scalar phi. Can anybody tell me what I'll get the expression? See, this is my del square. I'm taking a phi out. So if I take phi inside, what it will be?
Dou square phi by dou x square.
Very good. Plus dou square phi by dou y square plus dou square phi by dou z square. So this is called as Laplacian. They may not ask the question on this because first three definitions are important, but you should be aware of this. Laplacian of phi. Now, similarly, if I have a vector like this, a bar. So what I have to do then? I have to take a bar inside. So what I'll get if I operate del square on a bar? Dou square a bar by dou x square plus dou square a bar by dou y square plus dou square a bar by dou z square. What this will be called then? Can you name it? Can you name it? Can you guess the name? Huh? This is Laplacian of phi. What should be this then?
Laplacian of
Laplacian of A vector.
A, that's all. Very good. Laplacian of vector A. So Laplacian is applicable to either to a vector or a or for a scalar or a vector. Now, if you apply it on a scalar, what is resulting thing? Is it a scalar or a vector? This quantity. It's a scalar. Similarly, if I take A as a vector and if I operate it, what is the resulting thing?
vector.
Vector.
It's a vector. Okay, so Laplacian is very good. It will not change scalar to vector, vector to scalar. It will keep it as the same thing. Okay, now we have one more thing. Okay, that is called as, just now we have seen what is gradient of phi, right? So here you know about one concept. Suppose if I have y equal to f of x, we know how to find dy by dx theoretically, correct? Yes. Theoretically, we have so many, like depending on the function, we can just differentiate and get the quantity. Same thing, if I want to write geometrically, what is the meaning of dy by dx? Geometrical meaning of dy by dx.
It is the slope of y.
Slope of y,
Slope of tangent.
slope of the tangent. Extend it. It's not okay. It's okay. The thing is here. Suppose if I want to represent it geometrically, means if I draw a curve like this, y equal to f of x. If I take a point P here, some point on the curve, I'll just draw the tangent to the curve at P. So what is the slope of this line is going to match 100% what I find dy by dx. This is what it means. Am I right? Slope of the tangent to the curve. Slope of tangent to the curve y equal to f of x. Okay, this is what you already have learned. Similarly, now what you have learned, the first definition, isn't it? It is gradient of phi. Yeah, you have learned what is grad phi. You know how to find it. Am I right? Now, I will see what is this representing. Geometrically, what is this is going to represent. Now, gradient of phi, when you have found, you are getting a scalar or a vector.
Vector.
It's a vector quantity. Okay, you are aware of this. So that means, suppose if I have a function as phi, I'm applying the quantity gradient on that. Means, if I construct, suppose if phi is a function of x, y, z, with this function, I will just equate it to some constant c and I will prepare some surface. If I want to draw it geometrically, this one, phi of x, y, z equal to c, it becomes some surface. Okay, how I'm constructing? I'm taking phi, which is a function of x, y, z. I'm equating to some constant c. If I want to draw it geometrically, it represents some surface. Are you getting it? Like your book surface. Okay. Now, for this phi, when I'm finding a gradient on that, means actually what I'm doing, I'm finding a vector which is perpendicular to this surface. Is the part clear? At least little idea did you get? Don't worry, we'll not draw it and all. You should know what is the geometrical meaning of gradient of phi. Among the four, we'll discuss only regarding gradient of phi. So you know the procedure how to find gradient. What this is representing? This is representing a vector which is normal to this surface. Normal to the surface means perpendicular to this surface. And what is the equation of the surface? It is with respect to this phi only you have to construct. Understood or no? Or is it bouncing?
Bouncing.
Bouncing.
Bouncing, ma'am.
Very good.
Bouncing over.
Okay. Try to understand it because see this is like some surface like your book. Then when I'm finding gradient of phi by applying the definition means I'm just finding one vector which is perpendicular to this surface. Okay. This is a vector quantity. So what is this representing? Some vector which is perpendicular to the surface. Let it be. I cannot explain more than this. This much is enough. Okay. Now